Things that are forbidden to take on a cruise in 2025. New rules, real stories, and shocking cases. Yes, there have always been certain rules on cruises. Some things are allowed, some are not. But lately I've noticed that the list of prohibitions is expanding, and some new items are so strange that you won't even believe it until you hear real stories from passengers. In several situations, people were not just not allowed on board, they were arrested. Yes, it sounds harsh, but such cases have happened quite recently. I follow the news of the cruise industry every day, keep a list on my phone, and collect passenger stories. So today I'm going to tell you about things that can really ruin your cruise. We will move point by point, but in each, I will not just give you a dry ban, but real cases, explanations, why this is so, tips on how to avoid problems, analysis of the most common mistakes. Let's go. 1. Flags, banners, and decorations on the balcony. Many people like to decorate their cabin, especially those who are celebrating a birthday, anniversary, or just want to stand out. But flags are not allowed on the balcony. Carnival and several other lines have confirmed. Flags can be a fire hazard, especially in strong winds. The fabric can fly off and fall into the ocean. It spoils the appearance of the ship. Sometimes it even creates political conflicts. True story. A passenger decided to hang his country's flag during a celebration on board. The crew issued a warning, and 2 hours later, they simply removed the flag because the wind tore off part of the fabric and it almost got into the propeller area. 2. Electric scooters allowed, but many people with limited mobility use electric scooters, and cruise lines fully support them, but only within the rules. Only models that fit in the cabin are allowed. Large ones can be confiscated. The reasons are very simple. Corridors are evacuation zones. They cannot be blocked. The crew transports equipment, food, wheelchairs. They need free space. Large scooters really block traffic. Real situation, a woman brought a large electric scooter that literally took up half of the corridor. After several warnings, Carnival took it away for storage until the end of the cruise, and the woman had to rent a model that meets the standards. 3. Shells, stones, and natural souvenirs from the islands. When we get to the beautiful beaches of the Caribbean or the Bahamas, we want to take a piece of this paradise with us. But the rules are getting stricter. In many countries, it is forbidden to take out shells, corals, pebbles, sand, any natural materials. On the MSC Ocean K Island, there is a sign. It is forbidden to take anything from the territory of the Marine Reserve. Reason: environmental protection, preservation of the biosphere, protection of turtles and marine life. Story from the Bahamas. A passenger collected a whole bag of shells. At the checkpoint when returning to the ship, she was told to leave the bag. She admitted that she spent half a day on them and almost burst into tears. But rules are rules. 4. Portable washing machines are a complete surrealism. It sounds like a joke, but it's true. One passenger brought a mini washing machine from Amazon. Yes, small, compact, but electric and water-powered. What happened next? The machine was taken away upon boarding. The passenger wrote a long post online in outrage. Carnival responded, "Any electrical device connected to water is potentially dangerous." Why is it banned? Risk of short circuit, risk of flooding the cabin. Electrical hazard, washing liquids can damage the water drainage system. Knives and souvenirs from ports. A hidden trap for tourists. Cruise passengers often buy knives as souvenirs. They are really popular gifts, especially in such destinations as Alaska, hunting knives, hand-carved by craftsmen, Mexico, decorative blades with ornaments and engravings, Norway, and the fjords. traditional Scandinavian knives with wooden handles, and many people do not even suspect that buying a knife during a cruise can turn into an unpleasant surprise when returning to the ship. Why are knives often confiscated? Cruise line security conducts 100% screening after each port call. And regardless of whether it is a decorative knife, a tourist knife, or a kitchen knife, for security it is a cold weapon that cannot be brought on board until the end of the cruise. Best case scenario, the knife will be confiscated and returned at the end of the cruise. Worst case scenario, the knife may not be returned if it falls under the category of prohibited items in a particular country or in the policy of a particular line. A curious but true story. One passenger bought a knife at the port, and not even for himself, but for his son, so that he would have something to give after the trip. At the checkpoint upon returning to the ship, the security immediately confiscated the purchase. The man was so outraged that he wrote a huge emotional letter to Carnival. "It's just a souvenir. You ruined my vacation and a gift for my child." Carnival responded calmly and officially. Most stores in ports offer safe and legal delivery of souvenirs by mail directly to your home. We always recommend that passengers use this service to avoid confiscation and inconvenience. The man, of course, regretted finding out about this after the incident. 6. Ammunition. A story that ended in an arrest. This is the most serious item on the entire list. Real case in Turks and Caicos. In 2024, a passenger was leaving a cruise port. A regular security scanner found a cartridge in his backpack. He claimed the cartridge was left after the trip. He didn't know that he hadn't checked his backpack for a long time, but local laws are stricter than American ones. For storing one cartridge, up to 12 years in prison. At the time of publication, the man was sitting in a local prison awaiting sentencing. He was not allowed to return to the U.S. This is a scary story, but it shows. Check backpacks, bags, pockets, even old suitcases. Enlarge this text, but leave the meaning. 7. CBD and related substances are one of the most common reasons for disembarking from a cruise. This point is underestimated by many because CBD seems like a completely normal product today. In many states in the US, Canada, and even some European countries, it is sold in pharmacies and stores without a prescription. But cruise lines live by completely different rules, and this is where the most important thing begins. Even if CBD is legal in your country, it is strictly prohibited on cruises, regardless of the form. Oil-chewing candies, capsules, creams, CBD cosmetics, vape liquids. On a cruise ship, all of this is considered a prohibited substance, even if you use it for medical purposes. What can happen if CBD is found? Cruise companies do not take risks and act as harshly as possible. A passenger can be removed from the flight at the nearest port. Without compensation, you can be reported to local law enforcement. In some countries, CBD is equated with narcotics. Serious problems can arise at the border. And most importantly, "I didn't know" is not an argument. If an item is found in your cabin, it is automatically your responsibility. Why do cruise lines ban CBD? The reasons are quite logical, although they seem unfair to many tourists. The liners call at different countries where the legislation is much stricter. In some Caribbean and Asian countries, CBD is considered a prohibited substance. The cruise company cannot violate local laws, even if you have a prescription or a legal product. CBD is difficult to distinguish from illegal substances, and the security service does not conduct laboratory analysis. Companies will avoid risks at all costs. It's cheaper to drop off a passenger than to get into international trouble. Well, friends, now you know about things that can not only ruin your vacation, but can actually turn into huge problems. Cruises are incredibly beautiful, safe, and comfortable, but only when we fully understand the rules of the game. I always say, it's better to know in advance than to get a surprise later in the port or in the security office. So if this video was useful to you, please like it. It really helps the channel subscribe so you don't miss new videos about cruises, life hacks, rules, and real stories. And most importantly, write in the comments, what were you personally not allowed to take with you on a cruise? Or maybe you saw someone have something confiscated. Your stories are not only interesting, they help others travel without stress and without unpleasant surprises. Thank you for being with me today. I wish you light luggage, pleasant discoveries, and, of course, happy cruises. See you in the next videos.